faith and his gifts with all of us. Be sure to check out that song, Heal, on several streaming platforms. You can't miss it. It's #1. And I cannot wait to read your comments about this show. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to be the reason why someone smiles today.
Welcome in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstad. It is great to be streaming with you here on our almost Christmas Eve. So great to have you along as we cover the news of the day. I want to give you a roadmap really quickly because as we progress here, we're going to talk about some local stories, where to get last-minute holiday shopping done, and then we're going to go to some national stories. If you hang out with me until around 2:30, I have some big local stories I want to talk to you about, including an animal cruelty case in Gwinnett County that police are continuing to investigate. But first, let's start with our Larry Spruill, who's been talking to a father who's actually created a nonprofit after his son was murdered. And Larry, I understand the big goal here is that this father wants to give back to those who've experienced heartbreak.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ariel. It is an organization that he just started after his son was shot and killed back in January of this year. Now, his 17-year-old son was murdered by two men as they tried to rob him while he was visiting some friends earlier this year. Now, he says that every day has been a very tough day for him, but he's using that pain to help him heal by starting his nonprofit organization. Now, it's a mentoring organization that helps young men with jobs and help them to go to college and to keep them off the streets. And so he's using that to also help out families who have experienced gun violence and losing their family members to gun violence. He tells me that, yes, his organization is very new, but it's still impactful as well. It's also helping him cope and heal with losing his son. Now, he tells me that tomorrow is Christmas and it will be very tough. Take a listen to what he said about the loss of his son.
It's been really, really hard. It hasn't even been a year yet since my son has passed away. I wake up every single day in pain, and I try to find ways to help me get through that.
And again, one of those ways that he is helping him get through losing his son is his nonprofit organization. He tells me that that organization is one way to remember his son and to carry on his son's legacy as well. Ariel?
You know, Larry, this is just a wonderful way to see this father giving back and channeling his pain into purpose, if you will. I'm curious, what's the name of this organization and how can we help out and make a difference with it if we wanted to?
Yeah, and so it's several ways you can help out. They have an Instagram and they have a Facebook page. Actually, I just followed his father on Instagram. And Ariel, I do have to be honest with you. It definitely has slipped my mind what that name of that organization is. But we will have that information on our website and also on Instagram as well, Ariel. So I do
all good
for that.
No worries. I appreciate the transparency. You know, when you have to have so many details in your mind reporting. I totally get it. So we will stay tuned here in the Fox Local app. I know when you send in your web story, people will be able to view it and get more information. But it's just, you know, I think that a lot of people, unfortunately, know what it's like to lose someone close to them. And unfortunately, it's all too common to lose a loved one due to gun violence specifically. So the fact that this father says, hey, I don't want to sit here and to feel this pain without helping others who might be dealing with something similar. And Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, it kind of sounds like, you know, he's trying to help mentor youth with this organization. It almost sounds like he's trying to give back to the type of people who hurt his son.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's doing because he realizes that gun violence is a problem here in Metro Atlanta. So he wants to give back to those families who are experiencing the same pain as he is. Now, Ariel, I will be honest with you. Now, I have told these kind of stories before where people have lost their loved ones so close to Christmas, so close to the holidays. But this is my first time actually interviewing someone who is using his pain to heal and to help people people at the same time. So as I was talking to this father, I was like, I was impressed as well, and I felt his pain, but I was also encouraged to help out through his organization. So it's definitely something that it gives that holiday season, that holiday spirit, but at the same time you feel for that father because he is going through hurt and pain, and tomorrow he will have to celebrate Christmas without his son beside him. Ariel.
Good reminder, Larry, and I'm glad you got to cover, you know, an uplifting story for once, in the sense of, hey, here's where we're headed from this, because I know as a reporter that's not often the case. So, Larry, I'll let you get back to news gathering. I appreciate your time, and we'll be staying tuned to you for the latest on this. So thank you so much. Okay, guys, we're going to move on here. I want to take a live look out at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport as we gear up for the travel season. You know, a lot of people, I think, at this point have probably already made it to their holiday destinations, but if you're one of those still traveling and going through the Atlanta airport or any other airport, TSA is actually saying that we should leave one big item at home and to not wear it at least through the checkpoints, and that is sparkly clothing. And the reason for this, you know, sparkly clothing, tinsel, ugly sweaters, stuff like that, we all wear it during the holiday season, but the body scanners at the airport don't like this. Glitter, metallic threads, sequins, and rhinestones can trigger the scanners at airports and lead to pat downs and delayed wait times. So if you want to get to your destination as quickly as possible, this is something that could add time. So just best to put it in your suitcase. Don't bring it through on your person. TSA is also projecting over 122 million Americans are going to travel over the next 2 weeks, and 45 million of those are going to be flying. So definitely a really busy time. It's also a really busy time if you're trying to do some last-minute holiday shopping. And we're going to talk to our Tyler Fingert here, who has joined me about where he headed.
Clothes?
You know, I'm getting on a plane after this. You know, who knows? I'm just going to go somewhere, so I had to be prepared. But hey, look, I'm in my festive red and green, Tyler.
I did say that when I walked in.
Yeah,
I said, you look like a Christmas tree ready to go.
In true Tyler fashion, you guys, he's gotten
A prop.
a prop, and when he tells you why he bought this prop,
I'm not going to tell him.
I'm going to out
It's a
you.
last-minute gift.
Okay,
it's a last-minute Christmas
let's get
gift,
to
a
the
stocking
story,
stuffer.
and then we're going to talk about it.
It's
So
a last-minute stocking
You went to
stuffer.
a toy store in Buckhead.
Yes.
To check out some last-minute shopping. I understand Kazoo Toys, is that
Yeah,
right?
Kazoo Toys in Buckhead, Roswell
Okay.
Road.
So tell me a little bit more about what you were able to find. We're going inside.
Yeah, so they obviously are an independent local toy store. They are extremely busy, which is not shocking on Christmas Eve. People are there doing last-minute shopping to get ahead and get ready for, you know, tomorrow morning or even tonight, depending when you open presents. But there are higher prices right now, and that's because of tariffs. I did an initial story back in April when the tariffs started popping up, and they were preparing for it, and they were expecting maybe a difficult time ahead, but they really haven't seen that. Toys have been flying off the shelves despite higher prices this year because of tariffs. Kazoo Toys says because vendors have raised prices because of tariffs, anywhere from 5 to 25% depending on the item, but that has not kept customers away, with sales up compared to last year. The owners say they try to be fair to customers when they increase prices, but their hands are tied since 75 to 80% of the toys they sell come from overseas. The National Retail Federation says holiday sales this year could top $1 trillion once all the late shoppers finish making their final purchases. Ariel, that was up from like $900 and some odd billion last year. So we're seeing a huge increase in the number of people shopping, and tariffs are affecting such a huge and a wide portion of businesses, because, you know, a lot of the stuff that we see, including clothing, I'm sure if we looked at all of our stuff, a lot of our stuff's probably not coming from the United States.
Definitely not, yeah.
Because they end up getting made in factories in Asia or other countries throughout the world. And so for this Christmas, the store says it's a clear sign of just how busy they are, that things are going well, even though tariffs have increased prices. Take a listen to what they had to say. And also, one other thing she mentioned, she's just grateful that people are actually still shopping small businesses.
It's not super surprising that we're up. I think that people in general are going to try to buy things for their kids. They're going to spoil them to a point, and might be one big item rather than a couple of small ones, or the other way around, just depending on what your financial situation is. But it's it's been a good year. I think there's still a movement to really support the local business because while it's more convenient maybe to buy online, you don't always know what you're going to get. It shows up in a box and you realize that it's half the size that you thought it was or something. When you can go in a store and really touch and feel what you're buying, you know exactly what it is.
And it was great to see how busy they were today when I walked in there. I mean, when I talked to them on the phone earlier, she had said that we're going to try to fit the interview in waves because they're going to be extremely busy.
Sure.
They were able to do the interview all in one take, but the entire time we were in there, they probably had, 10, 15 different people in there, families in there shopping. So it was an extremely busy place. You see a kid walking right there. I
love a toy store, Tyler. I'm not going to lie. I can be,
I miss Toys R Us.
Yes, I can be 5, 15, 85, it does not matter. I just feel like a toy shop is magical and like.
I mean, I did buy this, didn't I?
You did buy this. And so now you've brought me to a great segue, which is why did Tyler buy this? Tyler, you want to say why you bought this?
So there's a dog in my life who will
Tyler's
enjoy
going
getting
to
treats.
annoy the dog.
No, that is
Tyler's
not.
going to annoy the dog.
You're
with
throwing
the
me
toy.
out of the bus here.
I am. But
he loves to play, and so I maybe give a treat to him like this.
Okay.
It was a few bucks. It was like $6.
Yeah,
Nice
well,
little stocking stuffer.
just have a little
He loves playing, so his name's Fitzgerald. He loves playing, so I figured this would be a cute little toy to maybe play, throw a ball with, or grab the ball out of his mouth or something. I don't know. We're gonna be nice. We're gonna be great. But I do think he's gonna have.
a good time.
He's going to be annoyed with me, I'm sure, by the end of Christmas Day.
Sure. So, Tyler, before I let you go, how late is Kazoo Toys open today? If someone's watching, they want to run out and get some last-minute gifts for friends, family, the little ones.
5 p.m. they close. They're closed tomorrow, as you might imagine, Christmas Day. But they're reopening on the day after Christmas.
Okay.
I believe it's 10 a.m. That's when you can get all your gifts, maybe. They said that they actually expect to see some folks coming in with, the Christmas money that they got in little stockings that spend some money in the day after Christmas.
That's cute.
They do have plenty of toys on the shelves, but they did tell me that if you were there last week, every shelf would have been full. That just shows how many people are coming in.
And how much has been sold since.
Well, they were telling me about this pony thing that you can ride. I guess it has wheels on it.
Okay.
They sold 3 of them yesterday. They're like $400. It just shows that families are willing to spend money on their children and their kids because people. I mean,
people want it, yes.
You don't have any kids, I don't have any kids, but growing up, it was really cool to open that gift.
Yes.
So they want to be able to give that to their kids, whether Santa brings it or not. But they want to be able to give that to their kids. And as she was saying, sometimes maybe people, instead of buying 10 items, maybe they do 8.
Right.
And they just do smaller items or one larger item as opposed to 3 or 4 smaller items type of thing. So it's just great to see that small businesses like them are able to succeed even amid these tariffs, because they even admitted to me their prices are obviously slightly higher than maybe a Walmart or a Target because their hands are tied because their vendors charge them X amount of money.
And they get different types of toys. I know a lot of these different type of toy stores are going to try to source maybe more unique items because they want to have that to be able to serve to their customers.
And that was the best part of our conversation with Whitney, who you heard there. We were talking just about the different things that they stock. I mean, obviously, they're going to have the Legos, which you can buy anywhere. They're going to have a Monopoly game. I saw that there. But they also have the things that I just didn't even think about that I would never expect in a toy store like that, or any toy store. And so you get the unique things that maybe you're not going to find anywhere else. You're going to have to go to that toy store, whether a big chain or whether a small mom and pop shop like theirs. And what they have was incredibly unique. Things that I've shopped for kids before, and I just never saw gifts like that. I mean, you could probably find this online or something, but some of the toys that they had were
really learning based.
That's a good point. They had science toys. They had different building blocks and things, and they were just talking just about how popular those things are, and you just sometimes can't find those in the big box stores, a Target, a Walmart, and that's why stores like Kazoo Toys are just so amazing, because they are able to stock the items that maybe you're not going to see in the big box retail retailers while also getting that local service. I mean, they do
Yeah.
free gift wrapping,
that.
which was really cool. Like a lot of people are getting their gifts wrapped for free.
Nice. Tyler, thank you so much. Thanks for letting me know about this and all of you guys streaming along. I'll let you continue to information gather as you're working on some other live hours as we continue. You guys, let's move national here for a second because I want to get you to some other stories that you may have heard about. So one of the big updates, and we were actually talking about this a little bit yesterday, President Trump has actually facing a major setback due to the Supreme Court and his efforts to deploy National Guard troops to Chicago. In a rare decision against the president yesterday, the Supreme Court justices blocked his administration from deploying troops to Chicago in order to support law enforcement and immigration operations there. Now, the key thing to keep in mind is that the majority of justices said that, quote, so far, the government has failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois, end quote. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, as you might imagine, is praising the ruling, saying that this is in line with the law. But in the meantime, the Trump administration, and specifically the president, is saying that he wants to stop crime. The president says that the National Guard would have been a key element in this. And of course, we do expect that this ruling will be appealed by the Trump administration. It is a preliminary ruling. The White House argues that the troops are needed to protect federal property and personnel. And of course, one of the things that we're going to do as we watch this situation is see the next steps in the legal process. So we'll keep you updated there. Another thing I want to keep you guys updated on, because we've talked about this a lot on Fox Local, as you take a live look at the White House on your December 24th, Christmas Eve. The White House is continuing its effort to crack down on truckers, specifically those who are here illegally. The White House says it wants to make sure unskilled drivers are off the roads, but Democrats are saying the president is playing politics. One of the things to keep in mind, ICE announced yesterday that more than 100 arrests happened during an operation it calls Highway Sentinel. Now, in this operation, ICE agents were targeting trucking companies in California, where it's actually illegal for police to ask a driver for their immigration status, but federal law enforcement agencies like ICE were going around and doing just that. And not just ICE here, both Border Patrol and Homeland Security have also headed to checkpoints and ports to look for illegally issued commercial driver's licenses. In California, 17,000 CDLs were actually revoked, and 24,000 now are also under review. Some states are fighting back, saying that getting these truck drivers off the road, even if they're here in the country illegally, could increase prices for consumers by causing a truck driver shortage. That's something that we've been hearing from critics of this. President Trump, though, has said that the deportations are going to bring prices down. The president didn't say how that would happen, but it was something that he tweeted, or rather posted on Truth Social. Now, Secretary Duffy, Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, is also threatening to withhold federal funding to other states like Colorado if they fail to purge illegally issued CDLs to immigrants who aren't here in the United States with a proper legal status. So we'll keep you updated on this developing story. But another thing that's happening nationally that I want to let you guys know about involves the visa program for workers, because the Trump administration is working to overhaul how some foreign worker entry visas are given. They want to replace it with another worker focus. Just yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security says it's going to scrap the lottery system for H-1B work visas and replace it with a system that prioritizes skilled, higher-paid foreign workers. Prominent U.S. companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and Google all have used the existing lottery in order to hire foreign workers to build their goods and services. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Department says the current system, though, has often been abused. They say it was abused by businesses who had wanted foreign workers for lower pay than American workers would be offered. It also said supporters of the current system. Now, one thing to keep in mind, supporters of the current system say that this actually drives innovation to have these immigrants come into our country and offer different ideas for goods and services. But the Trump administration has already attempted some changes, like imposing a $100,000 fee annually for HB1 visa workers and offering a $1 million gold card, which we've talked about here on Fox Local, as a pathway to citizenship. So we're going to keep you updated on that situation. Another big story is that as we follow what's happening with the United States economy, is that our GDP growth has actually outpaced expectations. As you take a live look at the stock market on your Christmas Eve, almost, the Dow Jones Industrial up nearly 50,000 points. And a lot of this comes from new data from the Commerce Department showing the U.S. economy grew over 4% in the third quarter. This outpaced expectations and makes it the strongest growth in nearly 2 years, driven primarily by consumer spending, including a strong start to holiday shopping, even with higher prices. President Trump's supporters say these numbers show the economy is responding to his economic policies. Others are watching to see whether it translates to lower costs for consumers. And, you know, something that people have pointed out is that while people may be spending a lot of money, it may not be money that they actually have in their pockets. They could be using credit cards to finance a large part of this, as we have seen consumer debt has gone up significantly. We do know the Federal Reserve is expected to keep interest rates where they are with this growth in mind. We're trying to figure out whether this strong growth is going to continue into the new year. The Federal Reserve Board, of course, trying to balance growth with inflation and making sure that if they lower interest rates, prices don't increase too much as a result. So we'll keep you updated on that. But I do want to get you updated on what happened in Pennsylvania with a nursing home explosion. You may have seen some incredible video as first responders work to help people in the area. Just heartbreaking. 2 people have died and 20 others at least are hurt. And this happened in Bristol Township, and the explosion happened at the Bristol Health and Rehab Center, about 20 miles northeast of Philadelphia. Police actually believe a gas leak in the basement may have caused this explosion, and it collapsed the first floor, trapping the residents inside of that building. Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania says first responders worked for hours to rescue survivors, and firefighters and medics from across the region rushed in to carry patients down stairwells, breaking down debris and pulling people to safety. Even as the structure actually remained unstable, a second explosion happened, making the rescues more chaotic. And utility crews were actually already on scene here, working to assess what was going on, because people inside of this nursing home had reported a strong gas odor. And so they were investigating, trying to figure out where that was coming from when this explosion happened. Officials say a recent safety inspection found the nursing home was not up to code, and it had come under new ownership just a few weeks ago, that nursing home. So the governor there of Pennsylvania says that they want to make sure that they keep an eye on this, and that standards are in place for these types of facilities to make sure that people stay safe. Bristol Township's fire chief says he believed all of the nursing home's residents have been accounted for. So at this point, we believe 2 are dead and at least 20 hurt. Another story I want to get a final check on for you guys involves what is going on in the Middle East. So moving international here for a bit, because at this point, we know Christians are preparing to celebrate midnight mass in Bethlehem. But the White House is telling Israel to back off of new threats of a military occupation in Gaza. Christians are celebrating the holidays, but these comments from Israel's defense minister are raising some fears that there could be increased fighting in the region. Israel Katz, the defense minister of Israel, said on Tuesday Israel will never fully withdraw from Gaza and plans to station military units in the territory, a major breach of President Trump's 20-point peace plan. The White House responded quickly, trying to assure any fears, saying that the U.S. remains, quote, fully committed to the plan, and called for Israel to stop provoking Palestinians. On Christmas Eve today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel has accused Hamas of actually reneging on the peace deal by failing to properly disarm. It's a claim backed by some American lawmakers, but even as tensions climb there in the region, a small Christian community in Gaza is preparing to celebrate its first peaceful Christmas in 2 years. And it's also the first time in 2 years that there will be full celebrations on Christmas Eve in Bethlehem due to the ceasefire. So we do know that Netanyahu is scheduled to meet with President Trump in the White House next week. We'll keep you updated on that visit right here on Fox Local. But in the meantime, you guys, coming up, I want to get a check of your weather forecast. If you've stepped outside, it absolutely feels like a tiki Christmas. 70 degrees on your Christmas Eve. How about it? Are you a fan? Are you not? Let us know. We're streaming on TikTok and YouTube. If you have any comments, put them there, and I will try to respond to them if you have any questions on the stories we're covering. But in the meantime, we're going to get a check of your forecast coming up. Welcome back in, and thanks so much for streaming with us. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Let's send it over to meteorologist Jonathan Stacy for a check of where these high temperatures are headed for your holidays.
Let's talk a little weather on this day before Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. This is quite the surprise, or quite the unseasonable pattern that we are enjoying on this Christmas week. Temperatures have now officially gone into the 70s, and that's where they'll remain for the remainder of the afternoon into the early evening hours. We'll push some 60s in and even some 50s by morning. Partly cloudy skies. So today's high temperature here in the city will likely break the current record of 74 degrees, 75 here in town, 76 for Covenant, almost up to 80 degrees out there in Eaton. Here in Atlanta, we've never hit a temperature of 80 degrees in the month of December since records were kept that goes all the way back to the late 1800s. I'm not saying 80s are in the forecast, but we're going to get eerily close over the next 5 days. 77 for Rome, 74 for Carrollton. Tonight we'll turn down the warmth, mild start to Christmas Day, but kind of a mixed bag of weather for Christmas Day. No precip in my forecast, but there are some variables that you'll have to watch out for, especially if you're out and about. So 53 degrees is not a bad way to start the morning. The winds will rest for the first part of the day, but they'll pipe up, especially across I-85 going out east near the Georgia-South Carolina state lines. We could get gusts near 25 miles an hour, especially from Gainesville up to Blairsville, even Athens and Lake Country participating in some of those fairly noticeable winds. It's a direct wind coming in out of the west, but once again, those gusts could be prominent. By Friday, the winds kind of settle down, but it looks like another round of winds tries to rear up as we'll have a few showers coming into the picture for the final day of the work week that is. But first, there could be some pockets of fog tomorrow morning before the winds start to pick up. This is a view of the fog for Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. You can see here some pockets stretching across the foothills into the mountains of northwest, north central, and northeast Georgia. Here in the metro area, there could be a couple pockets, but I think the winds will be a bit too alive and the dew point will be a bit too low. In terms of Friday, I think the dew points come back up. There's plenty of moisture for the fog to be activated by, and you can see here it looks like a wall of fog will take over West Georgia, moving in from Alabama, even into the metro area, and once again the foothills and the mountains dealing with some lower visibilities for the first part of the day Friday. After the fog breaks free, I'm not for sure if the clouds completely are dismissed. Keep in mind you do have a fairly meager shot at rain for Friday. As for tonight, Santa's coming in on his sleigh, or perhaps with some shorts on, 53 degrees here in Atlanta, and tomorrow morning you have a small dose of fog, but more cloud cover as the day grows on, and that's why we're keeping our temperature away from the 75-degree mark, at least here in town. That's the current record set back in 2015. We think we could possibly hit it, but if the clouds lock in like they did yesterday, I don't think 75-degree temperatures will be allowed at the airport. Meanwhile, you have a better chance in Riverdale and Jonesboro, the same for Conyers. 73 degrees Duluth, 74 for Christmas afternoon there in Kennesaw. Go down to PTC, 74 degrees. Look at these 77s. Gray, Monticello, Eatonton, going up to Madison and Greensboro, a pair of 7s, 75 for Heard County. Go up to Carrollton, 73 degrees. Look at these 70s. They're just more 70s and more 70s. Even Blue Ridge and Blairsville now coming in at 70 degrees. We're setting up to have an unprecedented day of warmth for Christmas Day. There's not much to complain about unless you're really a lover of cold weather on the holiday. In terms of wet weather, I don't see it in the picture for tomorrow either. Clouds in and out, maybe a bit thicker tomorrow than they are today. Once again, that could hurt the temperature. Same for Friday, but I think we may throw in a brief round of scattered showers, especially for those of you to the north and to the west of I-85. By Saturday, we still got some clouds around, but I think we'll warm back up. We'll go with a high of 74 degrees. And then by Sunday, I think on both sides of the day, both the morning and the afternoon, you do have a solid shot at some showers. But overall, we'll keep those rain chances at about 30%. It's what's behind the rain that will be more staggering than not. So a small rain chance for Friday. We'll take a break on Saturday, and then we'll pipe up those rain chances and put them in the isolated to widely scattered categories for the first day of the week. Those rain chances going away by Monday, and it looks like there's a calm start to the week, but a very frigid start. Temperatures on their high horses, overnight lows in the 50s, and then you can see here from 41, the big drop, a hard freeze in the forecast as we kick off your Tuesday and Wednesday mornings in the 20s, but we don't stay down for long. A grand comeback is on the way. The 8 to 14 day temperature outlook shows that warmer than average temperatures will take over the nation's heartland and will impact those of us in the deep south as far to the east as the Carolinas, Georgia included in the bunch, with temperatures for the final days of 2025 going into 26 warmer than average. Here's a look at your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. There is plenty to see here in terms of warm air. We'll keep the 70s around at least until Sunday, and then a front comes through, throws some showers at us, but by the time we wake up on Monday morning, we got sunshine, the breezes are going, but that cold air is firmly afoot, and that bone-chilling air definitely taking over by Tuesday morning, with numbers in the area starting out in the 20s. Enjoy the temperatures while they're riding on their high horses.
Well, thanks so much, Jonathan. It is very strange to have a Christmas in the 70s, but hey, I will take it. Guys, we want to get to some other local news headlines. If you were starting off the 2 o'clock hour here with me, I told you around 2:30 we were going to talk about some local headlines we're following. And one of them involves at least one person is dead and we know others were hurt. And I'm going to get into specifics here in a bit. But a car crashed into the back of a MARTA bus early this morning in DeKalb County. Police are investigating how exactly this happened, but we know the driver of the car that crashed into that MARTA bus in the back is the one who died. A passenger was also in that car, and both the passenger of the car and the driver of the MARTA bus were hurt. This all unfolded on Memorial Drive at Carter Road. We don't know why this happened. As we get any new information from police, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, this is a horrible, horrible story. So if you are sensitive to stories of animal cruelty, I'm just giving you that heads up now. But two women, the women you just saw on your screen in Gwinnett County, are now facing a total of 26 total counts of animal cruelty related charges. The mugshots you just saw were of Christine Abbott and Donna Slavin. Police say, this is disturbing, police say they seized 25 living dogs and found 13. You can see their mugshots again here. But they seized 25 living dogs and found 13 dead animals stored in 3 refrigerators inside of a home outside Snellville. You can see photos of some of the living animals in the cages and conditions they were kept in. Police say the dogs were malnourished and kept in small, filthy cages in a horrific scene. This case started back in September when Gwinnett County Animal Control asked for the Gwinnett County Police Department's help in investigating this home. We don't know how or why these two women had so many animals and what they were doing with them, but we're going to keep you updated as this case makes its way through the legal system. We do know that the dogs that were surviving received care at the county animal shelter. Not sure if they're available for adoption yet, but we'll keep you updated if we learn any new information. So just horrible there. But if you have questions on the story, happy to try to answer them. In the meantime, we're going to move on to something happier locally, and that involves a local nonprofit delivered some toys just in time for Christmas. Our Chris Rosenthal is tagging along with Hosea Helps. Chris, it is great to see you. What's happening this afternoon?
Hey, how's it going, Ariel? So yeah, I'm at Hosea Helps here, and they have, I've been here all afternoon, and they've had just a round and round of cars, volunteers coming to pick up toys. Let me flip the camera around, just kind of show you what we got here. All these plastic bags, these are all toys going out to about 150 families, about 700 kids across Metro Atlanta, about 15 counties, in fact. This pile, just in the past few hours, it's actually it's gotten a lot smaller. So they are doing the work and getting these toys out into the community. These drivers volunteering, coming out, picking up these items, being loaded up, getting their directions, their marching orders, where to go, and toys for a variety of ages here too. They're all very well organized, and I'm here with Afima Omalami with Hosea Helps. Tell me about this event. What does this mean to you guys today?
Look, this is the second annual Hosea as Santa event. My son, the CEO, Awodele Omalami, came up with this brainchild to say, let's take these toys to the families and have a personal contact with them, rather than just them coming to us and getting toys, which they did last Saturday. 500 children came and got toys, food, clothes, everything, but he still wasn't satisfied. He said, there's more. And we didn't turn away anybody. That's why he said, let's do it today. And 700 plus families in several counties will be served today, because it's a heart to do this for our children.
And talk to me about the volunteers. I mean, how many volunteers you guys have out here today?
Over 300 plus, and they keep coming. They are the backbone that gives us the engine to move and do whatever we need to do. Without them, none of this would be even possible. And the good part about it, many of them come back again and again and again because they have a heart to give, and they know how to treat people.
And if people are seeing this and they say, hey, I'd like to come out and volunteer, is there still time for them to come out today and tomorrow?
There's still time for them to come out today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be delivering over 1,500 plus meals all across Atlanta, a part of DeKalb, and then about 4 senior citizen high-rises. They're expecting this food, and they're very serious about it, so we cannot disappoint them. We cannot let them down.
Of course, this year there have been interruption in SNAP benefits, things like that, and we're still bouncing back from that. So does it make the need even greater?
And that's what we're finding out. We're serving more people now than ever before, especially people who never had to come to us, hardworking people, decent people who said, man, things went a little bad, I need help. And that's what we're doing here today. The children, they need to know there's a group of people in a village called Atlanta that cares for you, that loves you. That's our message to the children today.
People want to volunteer, just go to your website?
Number 4, Hosea.org. That's where they need to go.
Gotcha. And as far as the meal deliveries, as far as receiving these benefits, that was a registration. That's already been closed.
That's
correct?
already been closed.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes,
gotcha.
yes.
But people can always look ahead to other events and opportunities.
Absolutely, because MLK is right around the corner. January 19th, we're going to have a whole health fair right here. Food, clothes, the whole thing. Turkey, you name it. All of this is going to be filled with tents, Grady doing mammograms. So it never stops. We're going to continue on.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Fimo Malami, thanks so much for showing us around here today, and we'll stick around and watch us a little more. This goes on until about 4, I believe.
Yes.
Right? So 4
the
to 4
pleasure is
today.
mine to know that it's going to be a great Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for these kids. Oh man! And look at the weather. Come on, everything is rosy.
Beautiful day. All right. It's a beautiful day. Thanks so much, Mr.
No, thank
Malami.
you guys.
All right, Ariel. Yep, they'll still be out here for a little bit longer today, delivering these toys.
His holiday spirit's contagious, Chris. I'm absorbing it for myself. But wonderful to see the community pulling together like this.
Come
I know
on,
Hosea
Prancer,
helps
Dancer,
has
Rudolph. Where's my
doing so
my
many
sleigh
things.
ride? Come on,
And,
y'all. My elves. Santa's ready.
He's calling out his elves. I love it. And his reindeer. Chris, I love it. We're going to see you again at 3.
Come on,
so, Chris, I'll let you get back to it. I appreciate your time. But a wonderful way to see Hosea helps giving back to the community as they continue to do. Guys, coming up, we have some other stories to get to, and I'm really excited for where we're headed because we're going to talk to a couple of ladies about how to properly caregive during the holidays. This is a really challenging time to navigate, especially if you have a loved one that you've recently started taking care of. And Nancy and Sue have a podcast and an organization where they try to help people navigate this tough topic. So we're going to chat with them coming up next. Welcome back in. I am Ariel Onstad. It is great to have you here along with us on our Christmas Eve. And if you're celebrating the holidays with family this year and maybe you find yourself in the position of caring for a loved one, maybe they've had a medical diagnosis or they're elderly and you find yourself now taking care of someone you care about, this can be a really challenging time. So I'd like to bring in Nancy Treaster and Sue Ryan, co-founders of the Caregiver's Journey. You guys have a podcast and an organization where you try to help people navigate this topic. So first things first, ladies, what is the Caregiver's Journey? Tell us a little bit about what you've created.
The Caregiver's Journey is a nonprofit organization that Sue and I co-founded, with really focused on creating resources for caregivers, especially for dementia family caregivers. And as you said, the heart of it is a podcast and guides and other resources as well.
So I'm curious, ladies, what are some of the big questions you're getting around this time of year for people who are dealing with this? Maybe they are suddenly finding themselves in this new situation where they're caring for a mother, a father, someone they didn't used to. How do they navigate that? What kind of questions are you getting from your community?
One of the big questions we're getting this time of year, when so many families are getting together for the holidays and we have a loved one who now has the diagnosis of dementia, is how do we ensure that we're having the greatest holiday activities and event that we have and gathering, and yet support what our care receiver needs. And one of the things that we talk about is wherever you're going to be meeting, for example, at someone's home, create kind of a quiet space, a space where your care receiver can go and it's a little calmer, a little quieter, they can kind of get away. And then also talk to the other people who are going to be participating and are going to be joining the family beforehand and say, here's some of the things you might want to talk about. Here's where our loved one is. So they can meet them where they're at and teach them to get down to their level and look them in the eye and speak calmly and things like that, to help the care receiver have as little stress as possible as they're going through this journey and not feel overwhelmed with all the excitement and the energy of the holiday experience.
It's such good advice because, you know, I'd imagine around this time of year, especially if you're in a new position as a caregiver, you're trying to hold on to your normalcy. You know, you're trying to hold on to this feeling that things can be okay and you don't want others potentially to know what you're going through, or maybe you just don't want it to be that bad. And when you take a deep breath and kind of allow people in, allow them to help you and set yourself up for success with a quiet space for your loved one, it can help make that difference. So I'm curious, ladies, why did you come to create the Caregiver's Journey? Do you guys have a personal story that led you to this place?
Sue and I both do. We both have more than our share of dementia family caregiving, specifically my father-in-law with Alzheimer's, my husband with frontotemporal dementia, and my father actually had Parkinson's as well. But together, and Sue can speak to her background, but together we both found we were frustrated with really how difficult it was to find practical tips for day-to-day dementia caregiving challenges, and decided together we could create what we wish we had.
Yeah, that's so impactful. Be the change you want to see. Ladies, I'm also curious here too, you know, if, say we're not caring for a loved one, right, but maybe we know someone who is, and how can we help and support that caregiver? What are the things maybe that we shouldn't say that can cause more harm than good? What are things we can do that are truly uplifting to that person?
What an excellent question. Thank you so much for asking it, especially at this time of year. When we look at what happens when we have a loved one who's been diagnosed, so much of the attention is focused on the person with the diagnosis. Let's take a little time to be focusing on the caregiver themselves. And one of the greatest gifts we can give them and considerations is time. Their time has been taken by so many other things. Several of the things that we can do, especially this time of of year is give them the gift of time for themselves. And for example, if you're going to give them a gift of a manicure, give them also the gift that goes with it of caring for the loved one. And then give them perhaps the gift of reconnecting with a hobby they've chosen to put on the back burner while they're caring for their loved one. And yet again, give them the time and the capacity to be able to focus on that. And then also look at where are ways that it can be supportive of both the caregiver and the care receiver. Perhaps a meal service, perhaps having ride shares to something, or a cleaning service coming in. So anything that can support giving more time and allowing the caregiver to reconnect with themselves.
I think it's that's such a good advice, because so often we get something for someone else without thinking, when are they going to have the time to use it? Are they going to be able to get away to make the use of this thing that I have gotten for them? So while thoughtful, maybe we want to make sure we've covered all of our bases. Ladies, I could talk about this with you guys forever. As we wrap up here, any final thoughts that you think people should know as we navigate this holiday season? Any final tips for caregivers or people who want to support a caregiver in their life?
So as Sue said, make sure that you're not giving that gift certificate that sits in a corner because there's no time supporting them being able to take advantage of it. That's huge. But what that really goes back to is something that Sue and I say on a regular basis, which when someone has a diagnosis, for example, of dementia, that it's just as important that we focus on how we're taking care of the person living with the diagnosis as well as the caregiver. Both those people are critical to the equation, and if one of them falls down, the equation is not going to work. For more information from the Caregiver's Journey and support resources for dementia family caregivers, you can find us at thecaregiversjourney.org.
Amazing.
And we close every one of our podcasts with, we're all on this journey together.
We are indeed. And ladies, I understand the Caregiver's Journey, your podcast, also available wherever you can get your podcasts?
Yes, exactly.
Wonderful. Nancy, Sue, thank you so much for joining me. It's been lovely to chat with you guys, and I hope you both have a wonderful Christmas with your families.
Yes,
right back at you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Okay, guys, we're going to move on here as we continue here in our 2 o'clock hour. We're going to go check in with our Eli Jordan, who is checking out some last-minute shopping in Little Five Points, and also checking out to see what the construction looks like in that area. I also want to let you know where we're headed with Santa and how you can track him as he delivers gifts this evening. That's coming up. Welcome back in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for streaming along here with us. If you have questions on any stories we covered, put it in our TikTok chat or YouTube. We're checking your comments, and I will try to answer any questions you guys have on what we've covered. If there's something you want me to talk about, let me know. I'll get it in here at 2 o'clock or coming up at 3. Really briefly, if you are tracking Santa, where is he right now? Let's figure it out.
Okay, things starting to get serious here in the Santa Tracker Command Center. I think I just heard David Chanley pull in the parking lot. Yeah, we're about to staff this place up because Santa is continuing to get closer. He's making his way out of Asia now and into Europe. It looks like the latest information here is, Turkey. All right, so Santa making his way ahead of schedule now. Turkey, so we've got Canton, Conyers, and Riverdale all between 10:30 and 11 tonight. You are going to want to make sure to head to bed early. We are going to continue to track Santa streaming right here on Fox Local, but into the evening tonight, we're going to have a whole crew here in the Santa Tracker Command Center. Stay with us here on Fox 5 and Fox Local.
I like to see the command center all decked out. That looks pretty cool. Well, guys, if you're looking for a last-minute holiday gift, Local is a great way to shop, and our Eli Jordan is taking us out to Little 5 Points, showing us how we can get some last-minute gifts. So, Eli, looks pretty nice out there. Can't argue with the weather today.
Oh, no, can't argue at all. I've actually broken a sweat, and somebody I know had to go home and change their sweater and put on a T-shirt. But it's lovely out here, and it's extra lovely because for the past 6 months, this place has been all boarded up with chain link fences and pushing right up against these businesses. And, you know, during the Little 5 Points Halloween parade, we were disappointed that, you know, all the chain link fence was up here and people couldn't hang out in this beautiful area, but it's now all down, and it's, you know, they like some donor pavers here that are engraved that'll be put down, but it's all open. People are enjoying this. I kind of like it. I like the open space. You don't have to worry about people hiding behind tubs of trees or whatever and all that. But the businesses here have suffered for the past 6 months, and I am with Aura Moore. She is with Crystal Blue. And Crystal Blue has been around for 40 years. Aura, tell me, how has this construction, did you guys notice it? You've been 5 years working there. Did you notice the difference this year?
Absolutely. This year, with the construction being up and the fences being up, a lot of people didn't even think that we were open. However, we pushed through. We're here now. It's all in clear and plain sight that we're open and available for your local goods. We have all kinds of different great gifts available at Crystal Blue. Great things to eat at the Porter. Can come down to Seven Onda as well and get all your holistic needs. With it being completely open, it's better where you can see the end mission here, and that's just to make it better for events. It'll be better when we have the Halloween parade. It'll be better for hosting live music events and hopefully some yoga in the park, getting more active and bringing the sacred energy back to Little 5 and bringing the Atlanta art community together and making it even bigger than it is.
So, I mean, the fences just came down, I think, last week, and I already can tell there's a lot more people. I've been out here all day today. I mean, even Crystal Blue is
Yes, it's definitely been a busy past week for sure. For the past 3 days, people are doing some last minute Christmas shopping. So we definitely appreciate you supporting your local businesses. It's going to be huge with the impact that we've had the past 6 months from the construction. And we definitely appreciate your local support for sure.
And yeah, it's important. So you guys are open till 6? So
yeah, we'll be open today till 6. A lot of the businesses are opening up a little later here. So there's definitely some great options for some last gift items to get the new year started right in a better direction. We got the star open and available. There's still some work that's going to get done. There'll be a sculpture over here. They're going to fill in the star there, fill in the middle. So it's definitely going to get better from here. And we're just super grateful for it to finally be in a smooth transition, to be in forward motion, so we can all enjoy our Little 5 Points again.
Awesome. More of Crystal Blue, and come out here, support the shops if you have last minute items to get. This is the perfect place here at Little 5. Yeah. Ariel, I'm going to kick it back to you.
Awesome. Well, Eli, I know we're going to chat with you again at 3, and we'll probably have a little bit more time to explore, so we'll go do that. But Eli, thanks so much for giving us a look at how construction has progressed in the area. Coming up, you guys, we've got got a lot of things on deck. I'm going to take you out to some more national stories as we continue here heading towards 3 o'clock. And we're going to get another check of your weather forecast. That's coming up. Welcome in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Welcome to 3 o'clock. It is great to have you here live with us, and we have a lot of stuff to get to. We're going to start off here covering some local stories. I have some national news to talk to you guys about, and then as we approach 2:30, we're going to talk about some local stories that I think might interest you. One of them being an animal cruelty case, an update on that out of Gwinnett County. So we're going to head there. But first, speaking of animals, we're going to start with our Rob DiRienzo, who has a really heartwarming story on our Christmas Eve about a family dog that was saved thanks to the help of some firefighters. Rob, I see you're outside a fire station, it looks like. I take it these are the firefighters in question who helped save this family dog?
Hey there, Ariel, that's right. These are the firefighters in the fire station behind me, and we also spoke to the dog's owner, who is incredibly grateful. We're up here in Cartersville, and this all happened around 6 this morning. This dog owner says that her dog, 13-year-old Grace, just stopped breathing, and that immediately caused her to panic. She called up her vet. The only problem is, since it's Christmas Eve, her vet wasn't available. So I want to show you the moment when they walked into the station a little while ago to thank these firefighters in person. person. The dog's owner is calling it a Christmas miracle. Like I said, it was early, she was desperate, and Cartersville firefighters answered the call. They went out to the house and helped her load that dog, who had essentially completely collapsed at that point, into the car, and that is how the dog was able to get to the animal hospital. Now, I want to give you in the moment where she was able to walk in and again thank these firefighters in person just a short time ago. Take a listen to what she had to say.
I even went and knocked on neighbors' doors and couldn't get anybody to wake up this morning, and her breathing is worse and worse, and I knew we had to go. And so I called the fire department. I told them, I said, you know, all the people here are fine, like we were all okay, but I need help. And so they were there, I mean, with just in minutes.
It's one of the main reasons why I joined this department is to help people, because I love to help people. And so just knowing that we made a massive impact on her life right before Christmas, like that's the highlight of my year.
And now, Ariel, the dog's owner says she was at first a little reluctant to call Cartersville police because she wasn't entirely sure, or call Cartersville Fire rather, because she wasn't really sure if this is something that they deal with. Normally they deal with human emergencies, not animal emergencies, but the firefighters, as you heard in that soundbite, they say it's part of why they do this. They want to help their community, and that is what they did this morning. Now, unfortunately, little 13-year-old Grace, she's just not out of the woods yet. She's at the Dogwood Animal Hospital in Marietta undergoing some additional testing, and her owner, of course, is praying for the best at this point. But just to show the amount of community and love that this fire department showed to her this morning, it's really sticking with her into the holidays. Ariel?
Oh, Rob, I love this story for so many reasons. You know, I think that we've all been there with our pets, you know, a panicked feeling of like, I know something's wrong, I don't know how to get help because, hey, maybe it's closed. You know, emergencies with whether it's people or animals, they never come at convenient times. They just don't. It's always at the worst time. And so the fact that she thought, hey, I don't want to bother the firefighters, but maybe they could help me, and the fact that they stepped up, what better ending?
Yeah, Ariel, and you've actually met my little pup, Coco, in the park before, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, they are our entire worlds, and at the same time, again, she didn't want to bother them. She didn't want to distract them from a real emergency, so she called their non-emergency line, but they said, rest assured, if you called 911 this morning, we still would have been out there. So it just goes to show the amount of dedication there, but then also the fact that she came back and showed her gratitude to these firefighters in person, a really special moment in time for the holidays.
Yeah, Rob. You know, our pets, they're family members, and they might as well be human, even if firefighters are used to handling human emergencies. I mean, a lot of our pets sure feel like that. Before I let you go, really quickly, you may have mentioned it, but I just want to touch base again. Do they know what was wrong with her dog? What ultimately had happened? Was it a medical condition underlying, or what was ultimately wrong?
Well, I don't want to misstate the actual medical diagnosis, but she said that her dog was having a tremendous struggle breathing, and then when they got to the hospital, they found that fluid had built up around the dog's heart. So it sounds like a very serious situation. They were waiting on an echocardiogram within the last couple hours to see if that fluid had returned since they drained it. So it seems like it's a wait-and-see type thing right now, but obviously you can hear Julie, the pet's owner, trying to stay positive and expressing her gratitude to the people who jumped into action to do what they could this morning.
Yeah, Rob, awesome. Well, I hope that the dog is okay. Hope it makes it out of the woods. Definitely sending good vibes to her and her family. So, Rob, thanks so much for bringing this story to our attention. Always appreciate our conversations, and I'll let you get back to getting some more information as we continue our live hours. Okay, guys, we're going to move on here because how would you fancy being a Powerball winner? I know a lot of you probably would, and at this point, we don't know who the winner of the Powerball is. It's still up for grabs because no one has claimed the prize, and our Deidre Dukes is out checking on this now. Deidre, since we're talking live right now, I'm going to guess you didn't win the Powerball.
Well, this Powerball drawing, as you can see behind me, a lot of people are anticipating the possibility that they could win big tonight, Ariel. Have you purchased your tickets yet? Are you going to play this go-round?
Deidre, I have a confession. I've never once bought a lottery ticket. But you know, if someone bought one for me,
you may have to.
I may have to. That's a lot of money.
Wonderful. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great. As long as you pay it forward, I know you're going to share with that person if you win big, right?
Yes, Deidre, I would. I absolutely would.
Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot. Now it's on tape. It's out there for everyone to see, right?
It is.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to purchase. Yes, I'm going to purchase my tickets before I leave here today. I do hope that I'm a big winner tonight. But if I am not, I tell you what. I do hope that at least one person in this line here at the Robinson's gas station in Tallapoosa, that they will hold the winning ticket. And boy, it's a huge jackpot in deal. A $1.7 billion jackpot is up for grabs tonight on Christmas Eve. I can't imagine a better way, Ariel, to celebrate Christmas tomorrow than to win those big winnings tonight. Now, we talked to a lot of folks out here today, asking them what they would do if they won all that money, and also heard from one gentleman who talked about what he suggests if someone were to win tomorrow, tonight, what he suggests that they do with all that money.
Help my family, help my friends, buy a house, and make a good life for everybody around me.
Well, I'd help my family and help my friends and pay off all my bills and get my daughter a house.
Probably get to go visit our family more. We're originally from Louisiana, so we go home once, maybe twice a year, just to give us a little more time to be able to spend with them.
If you win, do not take the cash option. First of all, you take the cash option, you got to sit there and count out all that money. And if you mess up, you got to start over again. Secondly, how big a truck are you going to have to haul $1 billion in cash? So definitely don't want to take that cash option. You got to worry about safety and where you're going to keep it all. Be smart. Ask for a wire transfer or a check at least.
Sounds like to me, Ariel, a good problem to have. I don't think I'd mind counting out all that cash and having to stop and start over if I got confused somewhere along the way. But definitely a lot of folks just, a little lighthearted fun buying a ticket, hoping for the best, and hopefully someone does strike it big tonight, right? Because we have been on a long ride here as this jackpot just has continued to grow, and it certainly would be extra special if someone were to hit that jackpot on Christmas Eve.
It would, Deidre. And, I'm curious. So you say you're in Tallapoosa. That's near Alabama, right?
That's right. It is in Alabama. It is right outside Alabama. And actually, a lot of folks here in line drove in from Alabama to purchase tickets because they can't play the lottery in Alabama.
It's a really unique, kind of rule there, because I would imagine it drives up a lot of interest as people come over here to Georgia to be able to get that. I'm curious, Deidre, if you won the lottery, what would you spend the money on? What would be your first items? Or I don't know, maybe lifestyle? What's on Deidre's list?
Well, let me tell you, first off, I'd be very quiet about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be off. I'm going to be off over the holidays, but you would see me back in the office come January 5th.
Oh, okay.
And I just continue to work until that check hit the bank. And once it did, I probably would retire a little early, and then just make sure that family and friends are okay, and just have a little fun with the rest. Probably do a little traveling, that sort of thing.
Deidre, I couldn't agree more. I feel that you and I are very much in alignment. I would find myself, you got to make sure it clears. You got to make sure you have it.
Right.
And then no one needs to know about it. You just mind your business, and yeah. Okay, so Deidre, real quick before I let you go, a lot of people obviously excited, trying to win the Powerball. Is there like a time where they can't buy anymore because it's Christmas Eve, or is it just however late the gas stations are open? How does this work?
Now, I'm going to double check, but it is right around 10 o'clock, I believe. But I'll double check on that, Ariel. But definitely, if it were me, I'd try to get in here sooner rather than later, because the lines at times are rather long.
Yeah, I would imagine. That's a lot of money, over $1 billion. I'm sure a lot of people would like to have that. So, Deidre, I won't put you on the spot anymore. I'll let you get back to gathering information as we continue our live hours. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Ariel,
tell me.
There's a girls' trip in our future should I win. I tell you what.
Oh my gosh.
On me.
It's on tape, guys. It's here. Deidre Dukes said it. I would be so honored to have a girls' trip with Deidre Dukes. Let me tell you, that would be a lovely time. Deidre, you're going to get me so excited now. You have me so excited.
I know, right? Now you're pulling for me, right?
Yeah. Now you have to win. You just do. Manifestation.
I know. Yeah.
Well, Deidre, thanks. Always a pleasure. Merry Christmas to you. Okay, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Love it. Always a great time. So we're going to move on here because we have a few other stories to get to. If you're traveling today, I know a lot of people are already where they are going to be for the holidays, but if you are traveling this Christmas Eve through the airport, I want to get you an update of something that TSA says not to wear through the scanner. So we're taking a live look there in the upper left at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport there in Atlanta. Clear skies, not hearing of any issues. It's 70 degrees and sunny outside. So far, no problems, which is great news for the holiday travel period. But if you are traveling through TSA, agents would like to tell you not to wear sparkly holiday attire. A lot of us wear those ugly Christmas sweater. Think, glitter, metallic threads, sequins, and rhinestones on those sweaters, and anything else that we like to wear to be festive for the holidays. But guess what? When you wear those, it can trigger the scanners and lead to pat-downs and delayed wait times. The body scanners at the airport don't like those glitzy items. It kind of throws them off. So TSA is saying, hey, pack it in your bag, but just don't wear it through the TSA scanners or the checkpoints, because it can cause delays for you and lead to additional screening, which no one really wants. One thing to keep in mind too, 122 million Americans are going to be traveling the next 2 weeks, according to projections from TSA. They do believe 45 million of those will be flying, so quite a lot of people. In the meantime, I'd like to move to give you a live look at the White House as we continue with some other national stories. You're taking a live look there in Washington, D.C., also clear skies. And at this point, one of the things to keep in mind is that the Supreme Court has just ruled that President Trump cannot deploy the National Guard to Chicago. It's a major setback for the president because this was a rare decision against President Trump from the Supreme Court justices. And they say that the president cannot deploy the National Guard to support federal law enforcement and immigration operations. The majority of justices said in their ruling that so far the government has failed to identify a source of authority that would allow the military to execute the laws in Illinois. So basically saying it's just not legal for the National Guard to go there and execute the laws like a police force. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has praised this ruling online. But the president has said that he doesn't agree, as you might imagine. The White House argues these troops are needed to protect federal property and personnel. And one of the things to keep in mind with protests over the administration's immigration and enforcement efforts from those who disagree with this, the president continues to say that, hey, this is a needed action. Democrats say the system needs an overhaul. One thing also to keep in mind with all of this, the Supreme Court's ruling is preliminary, and it is likely the White House will appeal it. So we'll keep you updated as this situation unfolds. But in the meantime, the White House is continuing to track down illegal immigrants who are truck drivers here in the United States, and they're trying to crack down on what they are calling unskilled truck drivers. They want to protect other drivers on the roads and make sure that things are safe. But Democrats say the president is just playing politics with this. One thing to keep in mind, the Trump administration actually has announced just yesterday that it made more than 100 arrests during an operation called Highway Sentinel. And this operation targeted truck companies in California. There, it's actually illegal for police to ask a driver their immigration status, but ICE was doing so anyway. And not just ICE. Border Patrol and Homeland Security have headed to checkpoints and ports looking for illegally issued commercial driver's licenses. In California, 17,000 CDLs were revoked, with 24,000 now under review because of this operation. Some states are fighting back, saying getting these truck drivers off the road, even if they're here in the country illegally, is going to increase increase prices for consumers by creating a truck driver shortage. President Trump says that the deportations are going to bring prices down. He had posted on Truth Social, but he didn't clarify how that would work. Secretary Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary, is threatening to withhold federal funding to other states like Colorado if they don't fail to purge CDLs that were issued to undocumented migrants. So definitely a story to keep an eye on, and we'll do that right here in the Fox Local app. So thanks so much for staying up to date with this with us as we continue to let you know what's going on. One other thing I want to continue to keep you updated on as we continue to talk about immigration and where we stand with the visa process. You know that the Trump administration had suspended both the lottery system and has been making a lot of changes to immigration status and the way that people can enter this country here in the United States. But one of the things the Trump administration is overhauling, one of the things they're doing is overhauling how some foreign workers are granted entry visas. They're replacing it with another worker focus. So the Department of Homeland Security says it's going to scrap the lottery system for H-1B work visas and replace it with a system that prioritizes skilled, higher paid foreign workers. You might remember might know prominent U.S. companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, all use this program to get foreign workers to come and help with goods and services in developing a lot of products that they have. But the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Department says this current system has often been abused by companies, saying that businesses want to hire foreign workers for cheaper than they would pay American workers. Supporters of this current system say that it drives innovation. The Trump administration, has already instituted some changes, such as imposing a $100,000 annual fee for H-1B visa workers and offering $1 million gold card visa as a path to citizenship, which we've discussed. Businesses can pay that fee in order for workers to ultimately get a path to citizenship. So that's something that we'll continue to keep you updated on. But in the meantime, I'd like to take a look at the stock market to see how we're doing here on our Christmas Eve. You can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average up nearly 50,000 points. One thing to keep in mind why the market is really doing well at this time is because new data from the Commerce Department shows the U.S. economy grew over 4% in the third quarter. This outpaced expectations, and it actually marked the strongest growth of the economy in nearly 2 years. This growth was driven by consumer spending, including a strong start to the holiday shopping period. Even with higher prices, people still were spending money. President Trump's supporters say the numbers show that the president's economic policies are working, but critics say that they're really looking to see whether this is going to translate into lower costs for consumers. One thing to keep in mind is that the Fed is expected to keep interest rates where they are. Officials are watching to see whether this strong growth continues into the new year. The Federal Reserve Board always watching the interest rates and trying to balance inflation also with job growth to make sure that prices don't get too high. So definitely something that we'll keep an eye on for you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to get a quick check here of our TikTok comments and YouTube. If you're streaming along with us and you have a question about any of the stories we're covering, just put it in the chat and I'll try to get to it. If you have something you want us to talk about or something that you want us to discuss, if there's a story nationally or locally that you want to know more about. A national story, or just a story, I guess you could say not here locally, but that has been making national headlines, involves an explosion in Pennsylvania just right before the holidays. You're taking a look at video from the scene of a nursing home explosion in Bristol Township, Pennsylvania. At least 2 people are dead and 20 are hurt. And this explosion unfolded at the Bristol Health and Rehab Center about 20 miles northeast of Philadelphia. Absolutely tragic. Police actually believe a gas leak in the basement may have caused this. It collapsed the first floor, trapping residents inside. And Governor Josh Shapiro there of Pennsylvania says first responders worked for hours to rescue the survivors. We know firefighters and medics from across the region actually rushed in to help. They carried patients down stairwells, broke through debris, and pulled people to safety. Even as this structure was unstable, a second explosion made rescues more chaotic. So absolutely incredible. First responders risking their lives to save others. Utility crews were actually already on scene investigating a strong gas odor that people were complaining about when this explosion happened. And officials say a recent safety inspection found that the nursing home was not up to code. The nursing home had come under new ownership in just a few weeks ago. And one of the things that Pennsylvania's governor has said is that he wants to look at how they can enforce safety standards and make sure that things with these facilities are kept up to code to help prevent these issues in the future. Bristol Township's fire chief says he believes all of the nursing home's residents have been accounted for. So at this point, we believe 2 people dead and at least 20 hurt. Guys, coming up, we're going to get a check of some other stories for you. I want to look at where we're going to head with our weather forecast. It is warm outside for Christmas Eve, but maybe you're not complaining and you're enjoying the sunshine and warmer temperatures. Meteorologist Jonathan Stacey is going to tell us how long we can enjoy that coming up next. Welcome back in, you guys. It's a pleasure to have you streaming along with us on our Christmas Eve. Thanks so much for being here. If you're listening on the radio, 107.9 HD2 FM, thanks for being a listener. We are about to listen to Jonathan Stacey tell us where we're headed with our weather forecast as we look at the holidays and into the next week. Very interesting to be so warm for Christmas. Jonathan's going to make sense of it for us.
Let's talk a little weather on this day before Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve, everyone. This is quite the surprise, or quite the unseasonable pattern that we are enjoying on this Christmas week. Temperatures have now officially gone into the 70s, and that's where they'll remain for the remainder of the afternoon into the early evening hours. We'll push some 60s in and even some 50s by morning, partly cloudy skies. So today's high temperature here in the city will likely break the current record of 74 degrees, 75 here in town, 76 for Covenant, almost up to 80 degrees out there in Eaton. Here in Atlanta, we've never hit a temperature of 80 degrees in the month of December since records were kept that goes all the way back to the late 1800s. I'm not saying 80s are in the forecast, but we're going to get eerily close over the next 5 days. 77 for Rome, 74 for Carrollton. Tonight we'll turn down the warmth, mild start to Christmas Day, but kind of a mixed bag of weather for Christmas Day. No precip in my forecast, but there are some variables that you'll have to watch out for, especially if you're out and about. So 53 degrees is not a bad way to start the morning. The winds will rest for the first part of the day, but they'll pipe up, especially across I-85 going out east near the Georgia-South Carolina state lines. We could get gusts near 25 miles an hour, especially from Gainesville up to Blairsville, even Athens and Lake Country participating in some of those fairly noticeable winds. It's a direct wind coming in out of the west, but once again, those gusts could be prominent. By Friday, the winds kind of settle down, but it looks like another round of winds tries to rear up as we'll have a few showers coming into the picture for the final day of the work week that is. But first, there could be some pockets of fog tomorrow morning before the winds start to pick up. This is a view of the fog for Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. You can see here some pockets stretching across the foothills into the mountains of northwest, north central, and northeast Georgia. Here in the metro area, there could be a couple pockets, but I think the winds will be a bit too alive and the dew point will be a bit too low. In terms of Friday, I think the dew points come back up. There's plenty of moisture for the fog to be activated by, and you can see here it looks like a wall of fog will take over West Georgia, moving in from Alabama, even into the metro area, and once again the foothills and the mountains dealing with some lower visibilities for the first part of the day Friday. After the fog breaks free, I'm not for sure if the clouds completely are dismissed. Keep in mind you do have a fairly meager shot at rain for Friday. As for tonight, Santa's coming in on his sleigh, or perhaps with some shorts on, 53 degrees here in Atlanta, and tomorrow morning you have a small dose of fog, but more cloud cover as the day grows on, and that's why we're keeping our temperature away from the 75-degree mark, at least here in town. That's the current record set back in 2015. We think we could possibly hit it, but if the clouds lock in like they did yesterday, I don't think 75-degree temperatures will be allowed at the airport. Meanwhile, you have a better chance in Riverdale and Jonesboro. The same for Conyers. 73 degrees Duluth, 74 for Christmas afternoon there in Kennesaw. Go down to PTC for 74 degrees. Look at these 77s. Gray, Monticello, Eatonton, going up to Madison and Greensboro, a pair of 7s. 75 for Heard County. Go up to Carrollton, 73 degrees. Look at these 70s. They're just more 70s and more 70s. Even Blue Ridge and Blairsville now coming in at 70 degrees. We're setting up to have an unprecedented day of warmth for Christmas Day. There's not much to complain about unless you're really a lover of cold weather on the holiday. In terms of wet weather, I don't see it in the picture for tomorrow either. Clouds in and out, maybe a bit thicker tomorrow than they are today. Once again, that could hurt the temperature. Same for Friday, but I think we may throw in a brief round of scattered showers, especially for those of you to the north and to the west of I-85. By Saturday, we still got some clouds around, but I think we'll warm back up. We'll go with a high of 74 degrees. And then by Sunday, I think on both sides of the day, both the morning and the afternoon, you do have a solid shot at some showers. But overall, we'll keep those rain chances at about 30%. It's what's behind the rain that will be more staggering than not. So a small rain chance for Friday. We'll take a break on Saturday, and then we'll pipe up those rain chances and put them in the isolated to widely scattered categories for the first day of the week. Those rain chances going away by Monday, and it looks like there's a calm start to the week, but a very frigid start. Temperatures on their high horses, overnight lows in the 50s, and then you can see here from 41, the big drop, a hard freeze in the forecast as we kick off your Tuesday and Wednesday mornings in the 20s, but we don't stay down for long. A grand comeback is on the way. The 8 to 14 day temperature outlook shows that warmer than average temperatures will take over the nation's heartland and will impact those of us in the deep south as far to the east as the Carolinas, Georgia included in the bunch, with temperatures for the final days of 2025 going into 26 warmer than average. Here's a look at your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. There is plenty to see here in terms of warm air. We'll keep the 70s around at least until Sunday, and then a front comes through, throws some showers at us, but by the time we wake up on Monday morning, we got sunshine, the breezes are going, but that cold air is firmly afoot, and that bone-chilling air definitely taking over by Tuesday morning, with numbers in the area starting out in the 20s. Enjoy the temperatures while they're riding on their high horses.
Welcome back, you guys. That was Jonathan Stacy talking a little bit about where we are headed with our weather forecast. And I'm not going to complain about 70s and sunny for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It sounds pretty nice. Let us know if you feel the same. I'm looking at your TikTok comments, honestly. I was just reading those. It looks like one of you says that you were talking about the numbers, Miriam B, saying, I don't believe the numbers. Let me know what story that was on, and I'll see if I can answer your questions. If something wasn't clear, or if you were curious about a story, want to make sure I make it make sense. In the meantime, I'd like to get an update on some local stories for you. So one of the stories that we're covering here in the Fox 5 newsroom today involves a car crash. We know one person is dead and a couple others were hurt. According to police, the car crashed into the back of a MARTA bus early this morning in DeKalb County. Now, police are looking at how this happened, but we know the driver of the car is the one who died. The passenger, a passenger in that car, and the driver of the MARTA bus were also hurt. This unfolded on Memorial Drive at Carter Road. Police looking at how this happened, and once we have any new details about this, we'll let you know right here on Fox Local. But another story to keep you guys up to date on, and this one, if you are sensitive about animal abuse, I'm just giving you a heads up now, because these two women that you see on your screen are actually now facing 26 counts of animal cruelty charges. This is Christine Abbott and Donna Slavin. You're looking at their mugshots. Pretty disturbing. Police actually seized 25 living dogs and found 13 dead animals stored in 3 refrigerators inside a home outside Snellville. They say the dogs were kept in a malnourished condition in small, filthy cages in a horrific scene there on the property. You're seeing some of the images there of the dogs in the cages. One of the things that police are looking at is what these ladies were doing with these animals. We're not sure about why they had so many, if they were breeding them, or what was really going on. But this case actually started back in September when the Gwinnett County Animal Control actually asked for Gwinnett County Police Department to help them investigate this home. When they got there, they found just those horrific conditions for these animals. We do know that the animals were taken into the care of the animal shelter. Not sure if they're available for adoption yet. That is a question I have, how they're doing but at this time. So we'll try to figure out any new details, but we'll keep you updated as the system progresses through the legal system. But in the meantime, I want to let you know a little bit more about some new details we're getting on these 3 escaped inmates that fled the DeKalb County Jail. And they're back in custody in South Florida, as you might have heard. They were captured there in Miami-Dade County, arrested without incident. But I want to get you some of the details about their escape in case you're unfamiliar, because investigators say that the escape was discovered during a routine security check when, get this, a jail officer noticed a portion of a cell had been compromised. Officials say the breach involved infrastructure and weaknesses in the more than 30-year-old DeKalb County Jail facility. This area has been repaired, they say, since, and additional sections are being reinforced, and patrol rounds inside the jail have been increased. But here's what we know. According to investigators, recorded jail phone calls helped authorities quickly figure out the inmates had coordinated transportation after escaping. Police say that one of the inmates, actually Stevenson Charles, 24 years old, arranged for someone to meet the group outside the jail, where they were picked up and taken to another inmate, the other inmate who escaped, one of the 3, his girlfriend's house. From there, investigators say she arranged a Lyft ride to transport the 3 inmates to Florida. U.S. Marshals then tracked the group's movements to Florida, made the arrests in Broward County without incident. And the rideshare driver actually involved in all of this was traumatized, as you might imagine. The rideshare driver was described to authorities as being traumatized. They talked about this in a news conference yesterday. We know that rideshare driver worked for Lyft, is being interviewed by federal investigators in connection to all this. And as a result of them using this Lyft driver in their escape, these men are now facing additional kidnapping charges. So we're going to continue to keep you updated on this situation. None of the inmates are believed to have hurt anyone while they were on the run, but this story does continue to develop. So we'll keep you updated if we get any new information. But I also want to let you know about a story that we actually just figured out this morning, and it involves the son of a reality TV TV star being arrested last weekend in Tennessee for assaulting deputies. This is Kyle Chrisley, the son of Chrisley Knows Best stars Todd and Julie Chrisley. And he was arrested Saturday night in Tennessee on a wide range of charges, according to authorities. And that included domestic assault, public intoxication, disorderly conduct, and 3 counts of assault on a first responder, resisting arrest, and some other charges. So Wednesday, the sheriff's office released additional information about the incident. Deputies reportedly responded to a call from Chrisley's wife, who said her husband was being belligerent and walking down the middle of the street while she followed him in her car. When deputies arrived and tried to speak to Kyle Chrisley, they say he began throwing punches at them. After a physical altercation and a deployment of OC spray, he was then arrested. 3 deputies were hurt during this incident, and that's according to the sheriff's office. We know that Chrisley was released on a $88,500 bond, and a hearing is set in January. So we'll continue to keep you updated as this situation unfolds. But in the meantime, we are going to head out to our community coming up, and we are going to check out a local organization that is doing incredible work on this Christmas Eve to make sure that kids have toys. You can feel the joy in their hearts and their spirits as they want to make sure that everyone has a wonderful holiday. And our Chris Rosenthal is going to introduce them to us coming up next. Welcome back in, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstadt. It is great to have you here with us on our holiday. We are going to go check out a wonderful thing that Hosea Helps is doing with our Chris Rosenthal. They're wanting to make sure that kids have toys just in time for Christmas. And it also sounds like, Chris, they're doing a lot of other things to support those in our community. Always love to see people giving back, and they're just so joyful today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been out here, you know, for much of the afternoon. They've been out here pretty much all day since about 10 a.m.
You're good.
And
Thank
they've,
you.
This has been a big pile of toys here earlier today, but they have been delivering these toys. Volunteers have been coming, picking up the toys, fanning out across about 15 counties here in Metro Atlanta to deliver those toys to about 350 families, about 700 kids, just to have them just in time for Christmas. And I'm joined by Amelia Chapman. It's also her birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And tell me about, what does it take to pull this off, to put this together, huh?
Good donations and lots of volunteers. Lots of work.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen you've been very busy today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many volunteers have you had today?
Oh wow, I know it's been hundreds, I'm sure, because you know we have different shifts. So
yeah,
we had a lot.
and you still need more, because you have more events coming up tomorrow.
Absolutely. So anyone that wants to come out and help us, please come.
And tomorrow it is it's not toys tomorrow. It's meal delivery. Talk to me about that.
It's hot meal delivery. So we're going to need some more volunteers to come in and help prepare those plates, pack them up, and deliver them.
And then deliver. So you need people for packing up.
Yes.
And
also drivers.
And drivers.
For delivery.
If they want to volunteer, how should they do that?
Just come to our headquarters and you can sign up. You don't. I know there are some volunteers that registered, but you can still walk in.
Oh, okay.
And just come to the desk. We'll sign you up and get you ready.
Gotcha. And you can also go to the website forhosea.org
Absolutely.
as well.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
And I mean, how does it make you guys feel to help out and to get these gifts?
I feel it like no other. To be able to help the community, put smiles on kids' faces is just priceless, and it just warms our heart to be able to do that, because we know that they're going to be really happy come tomorrow morning. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And these, you know, like I said, these toys, these bags here, this was a big pile earlier.
It was a huge pile.
So.
But we have worked our way through it. Like you said, it was about 300? No, how many families? About 300.
300 or so families, yeah. So
no, it was 350.
350.
350 families.
350 families.
And like 700 children that we prepared bags for.
Yeah, and ages from 2 to 17. So
yes.
All kinds of items.
Yeah.
Again, you know, if you want to help out, there's still help. There is still activities tomorrow.
Yeah.
What time tomorrow, by the way?
I think we start at 10 tomorrow.
10, okay.
Yeah, volunteers are going to get here around 9.
9 o'clock.
So, yes,
okay, gotcha. So so you can always there's still a need for help.
Still need, yes.
Chris, I love it. And, you know, if someone's streaming along with us, Hosea Helps organization here in our city, they've been so instrumental in making sure families don't go hungry, don't go without, especially for the holiday season. They were instrumental during the government shutdown to make sure that families had food, especially with SNAP benefits in limbo. So always wonderful to see the work they do for our community. And Chris, thanks for taking us out live, giving us a look at everything. And thanks for letting us know about what's happening tomorrow, Christmas Day. More things happening with Hosea Helps tomorrow. Chris, just to clarify real quick before I let you go, they're doing a Christmas meal tomorrow?
Yeah, so they're preparing meals, hot meals, and then they'll be delivering them from this location across some areas in Metro Atlanta.
Awesome. Okay, Chris. Well, thanks for clearing it up. I really appreciate it. I will let you get back to it. And you guys, we're going to move on here as we continue within our 3 o'clock hour. A couple stories to get to really fast, because I feel like this affects a lot of people and you might be interested. excuse me, the FDA has actually just approved a weight loss pill, which is really pivotal here because for the longest time, you know, a lot of weight loss drugs were only done through injection. And for a lot of people who have a fear of needles, this is going to be a game changer. It's really a new era for weight loss medication. And this new pill is approved in addition to the already popular injections that are available. We know that the FDA has approved the first ever GLP-1 pill, and it's a version of Novo Nordisk's Wegovy. So if you're familiar with Wegovy, it's this version. It's a daily pill that includes semaglutide. It's the same active ingredient as the Wegovy injection, as well as Ozempic, and clinical trials have shown the pill delivers similar results to the weekly shots. Until now, popular medications have only been available through injection, as you might know. So with this new option, some Americans may be more willing to take it. Novo Nordisk has not released a price for this Wegovy pill, but we do know that they've reached a deal with the Trump administration to sell the lowest dose of the pill for $149 a month for people who do pay out of pocket. More than 40% of Americans are considered obese, and this more accessible version of Wegovy is expected to give broader access to those who previously could not afford this drug. The weight loss market is projected to reach $150 billion. Not million, $150 billion in the next decade. So just incredible. And you guys, really quickly here, if you're paying a lot for your car, you feel like your car payment is too high, join the club because car payments are reaching record highs. This is incredible. Buying a car is now taking consumers to new high levels of monthly payments and extremely long loan terms, according to new data. J.D. Power says an average loan payment on a car rose to $760 a month in November on average. Gosh, I remember when $400 was a lot of money as the average. Consumers are now taking out loans to pay off their car that may last up to 10 years. Some car dealers tell the Wall Street Journal that shorter term loans of 48 to 60 months are now becoming cast off in favor of longer term loans. So you may pay less up front, but the interest rate, my goodness, you're going to pay so much more over time. J.D. Power data also says the figures follow new car prices, with the average car now costing more than $50,000, up from about $38,000 just 5 years ago. Chase Auto data shows that the average auto loan is now $42,000. Federal Reserve Bank of New York says Americans hold auto loans totaling about $1.66 trillion as of the third quarter of this year. So that's up about $300 billion over 2020. Just incredible how high car payments have reached and what people are able to spend. So we'll continue to keep you updated as this progresses. I see some of you in the comments, someone's saying 149 is still too high. Yeah, if you're talking about semaglutide and how that would be for a month for those who pay out of pocket. Now, if you do have insurance, I would imagine your insurance would help with that situation. But yeah, $150 is still a lot of money for a monthly weight loss pill. So I feel ya. If you guys have any other questions, put them in our YouTube or TikTok chats. In the meantime, we are going to check in with our Eli Jordan. I am combining names here. Coming up next as we head out to Little 5 Points to do some last minute holiday shopping and check on construction. That's coming up. Welcome back, you guys. I'm Ariel Onstad. It is great to have you. We are going to go out to Little 5 Points here in the Atlanta Metro to get in and check up some last-minute holiday shopping and see how the construction has progressed. Eli Jordan here with us live. Eli, we have about 5 minutes, and I know you want to show us also some festivities of Eli the Elf. So take it away, show us what you want to show us, and make sure you leave some time for Eli the Elf. We got 5 minutes.
All right. You know, it started out here, we looked at the Halloween parade. There was construction, there's fencing. Finley Plaza is getting remodeled, and, there are trees and benches all set up out here, and then, people would come out here and sleep and maybe use the bathroom and stuff. And it hasn't had an update in well over 40 years, but here it is now, and it just this past week has opened up. All the gates are down, and the businesses are no longer suffering, and that's what the big issue was here, where the business is suffering and hurt. And I'm with Aura, more of Crystal Blue without an H, real quick. And Aura, just tell me, what was it like during the fencing here, during the construction, and what is it like now?
Absolutely. So for the past 6 months, the fences have been up, which has made it very difficult for people to move around the plaza as freely. A lot of people didn't think that we were open. So it definitely has made an impact, especially the numbers as well. Now within this week, we're definitely seeing a pickup on people coming back out with it being more open, and you can see the space and how much progress has been made. There's still some little things to be done. There's definitely going to be
I got the engraved pavers and whatnot for the donors and things, and we also got a sculpture for Our Land that is going to be up there. And real quick, Our Land, I don't know if you can see it, the L5P right there. I got the tattoo of one of his pieces, and that's what it's going to be, a big sculpture right there, and they're going to have that up in January. Yeah. So tell me real quick, you guys, you're not open tomorrow, but you're open tonight until 6. What would you tell people who have last-minute shopping to do about small business and supporting small business?
Absolutely. So when you support your local shops, local businesses, you're supporting small families, you're supporting the community. Especially here in Little 5, we love to keep the same energy, keeping it unique and authentic that it is for our creative Atlantans and beyond. So we definitely appreciate your local support and of keeping and bringing Little 5 Points back vibrant again, and we're definitely looking forward and appreciate all that you do to support our community.
Awesome. Aura Moore, thank you very much of Crystal Blue, and as you said, a vibrant community out here, and it is vibrant, and that's all we got here, Little 5 Points. But also too, though, Ariel, it was 40 years ago I started being in front of the camera, and I know Santa Claus very well. I used to be an elf on TV, yes, back in 1985 at WOWL in Florence, Alabama. I would walk the kids out there and sit them on Santa's knee and make sure those kids weren't too scared, or make sure their faces were turned towards the camera. And I'd also read letters and stuff, but it was cool. I'd put on the makeup and the rosy cheeks every day and wear the same outfit. So not much has changed since I was an elf.
All right, let's listen to it.
It was cool.
And welcome back to the Santa Show. Eli Elf, do you have some letters for us there?
Yes, Santa.
Oh my, yes, Santa. He and I go way back, and there were some good times back there.
You holding the baby is
the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Much.
I know. I was, it's nuts. They trust me to hold a baby and carry it up there on TV, and yeah, there's a lot of pressure doing that on live TV. And don't drop the baby.
No,
don't know whose it is. So
it sets you up well for carrying your camera, making sure that you had your interviews in the right place, Eli. I have to say, you haven't aged a day. I mean, you look pretty much the same.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that, I guess. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was in 6th grade.
Eli, I love it. Great way to get into the Christmas spirit, holiday spirit, reflecting on some memories.
Oh, Merry Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. So we are running out of time here. Eli, always a pleasure. Love chatting with you. Eli Elf, hope you have a Merry Christmas. And all of you guys streaming along here with us, thanks so much for being live with us. The news is going to continue at 4 o'clock. I'm Ariel Onstad. Have a lovely holiday season.